Well, it's been 4 days, like we were saying, since an ice storm hit Quebec and Ontario, yet many communities remain in the dark. That includes Beaconsfield, Quebec, where we have reached the mayor, Georges Bourelle. So thank you so much for joining us, Mayor. We do appreciate this.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
Can you describe what it's been like for the residents of Beaconsfield, many of whom have, like we're saying, have been without power now since Wednesday? Yes.
First, I want to thank Hydro-Québec for their hard work, and also our own employees at the city of Beaconsfield for taking over after the aftermath of the storm, and also the Red Cross, who has been helping us with a shelter at our rec center. People are very frustrated right now, angered at the situation. It's now 4 days, and probably will be another day before we have power in Beaconsfield. Right now, as of 11:30, we had about 60% of our Beaconsfield without power. So that's a lot of residents. We have 20,000 population, so 60% is a lot of people. And right now, all we're hearing from Hydro is they're putting out the date further and further and further. So who knows when we're going to have power in Beaconsfield.
So you talk about some of that anger that some of your residents are feeling right now. Do you think that that anger is justified? Do you think this has been taking too long?
Well, 4 or 5 days is, to me, it's unacceptable. And there's no doubt that we're going to have to rethink the whole model of distribution of hydropower in Quebec. This model right now does not meet the expectations of the residents, and the distribution is actually the weakest link for Hydro-Québec. I mean, we have lots of power, but we cannot distribute it very well. It's fragile, and every time there is a storm, we have a lot of power outages. So there's a great deal of economic cost. I mean, a lot of people have lost money. Grocery stores have lost thousands of dollars. So there's a huge economic cost, and the cost of repairing the distribution network all the time is also very, very high. So I think it's time now that we reflect and look at the model of distribution, and maybe we have to make some heavy investments, and then we're going to have a more reliable distribution system for Hydro-Québec.
Have you heard any suggestions or any ideas out there floating around that make sense to you as ways that the system could be improved?
Well, no doubt that burying the cables or the lines are the best possible way to avoid what we are now living through. I know it's very expensive, but there comes a point where we know that it's going to happen several times in the future. It's not an isolated incident right now. So knowing that it's going to continue to happen, and with the extreme weather conditions we have in Quebec in the winter and in the summer, I don't think that it's reasonable for people to have to wait 4 or 5 days for power. So we need to look at what we're doing, and even though it may cost a lot of money initially, I think that the Quebecers are prepared to look at that possibility, and once and for all have a system that will be much more reliable than what we have right now.